দরজা খুলছো কেন? Hey everyone, welcome to the new session on Introduction to SQL. Before start the session, please let me know I am audible or not. If I am audible, then please put a yes comment to the live chat for that we can start the session. Right? I just want this session to be more interactive. And guys, please let me know I am audible or not. Right? And before we get started, I want to introduce you to Great Learning Academy. Let me show you what is Great Learning Academy, right? If you just write on your favorite browser what is Great Learning Academy and Great Learning Academy, you will land to in this particular page, right? A free initiative by Great Learning where you can access over 200 plus courses, with 1,000 plus hours of free content on trending high demand domains such as data science. Let me show you how actually you can see these are the courses. You can see this is data science, then machine learning, artificial intelligence, programming, cloud computing, digital marketing. You can see all the courses as listed over here, right? And these are for absolutely for free. Award winning academicians and leading industry experts design these courses, and you can also get a free certificate of completion after you do these courses, right? And you can use this free certificate for your LinkedIn, for your resume, anywhere you can use them. Right now let me show you how can you actually see. So suppose if you go for this particular course, that is data science foundation, if you click over here, you just need to register for the course, and yes, you can start your journey as well, right? So do not forget to subscribe Great Learning, and do not forget to check this out courses if you feel like you can do these courses, right? And you will get all the description in the all the link basically in the description below, right? So let's get started with today's session, that is introduction to SQL. So guys, I want to understand from all of you how many of you have idea about database management system, because anyway we were going to talk about what is database management system, why do we need it, and we will start from the basics, right? And if you have any doubt, do not forget to ask me in the live chat. I will try to give all the answers, and obviously will try to solve your doubts as well. And if you are not able to give your answer in the live session, do let me know in the comment. I will give you the answer, right? So guys, give me a quick understanding of how many of you have idea about database management system, or what is database, right? Give me a quick confirmation, guys, from all of you, right? Okay, I am audible. I get few comments. Okay, Vishesh is saying I know few basics. Okay, and what about others? A quick confirmation from all of you. Okay, so let's start with what is database. What do you think? Why do we need? Okay, Deepak is saying I have no idea. Okay, that's totally fine if you do not have idea. But yes, we are going to do an exciting part of database management system. We will talk about the RDBMS part, that relational database management system, and how companies are currently using that. And if you are someone who wants to change your career as a database management associate, or there are lots of data architect, right? The basic idea you need to have, that is SQL and also the database, right? We will talk about everything, so for that you have to keep tuned to the whole video. You will get to learn so many things in particular this session, right? And if you have any doubt, do not forget to let me know in the live chat, and do not forget to subscribe Great Learning, right? So let's have a look at what is database. I can see some of you are saying don't know, working on it, structured data. I can see it, right? So let me give you a quick example of what is database. So a database is a container. Suppose you have data, you have to store them, right? If you do not store them, how can you process them? Now comes, why do we need to store a data? How they are going to give us the information, and why company has their own database management system. So if we talk about any company like Google, Ola, Uber, fortune companies, or maybe we are talking about any startup, everyone has their own database. Why do they need that, right? So basically database is something that where you can contain, it's a container where you can store your data. and where you can actually collect your data systematically, you can easily manage your data, manipulate your data, and you can get insights from your data. So how many of you actually interested to know how can you make insights from your data? Give me a quick response, guys, because I want this session to be the most interactive session, right? um Yes, as a DB administrator. Yes, is this helpful for database technical review? Yes, it's actually helpful for database technical interview. And if you want to check out the whole course, right, the whole concepts of what is relational database management system, what is database, what are the in-depth knowledge you need to know, you can check out our courses on Great Learning YouTube channel. You will get almost 9 hours full course in MySQL. You will get to know everything, like from database to how can you make a good understanding of relational database system, MySQL, everything, right? Our moderator is going to send you that link in the live chat. If you want, you can check that out, right? So I hope you understand what is database and why do we need it, right? The basic reasons to learn anything, right? Suppose there are lots of people you have, like, guys, you don't know what is database, why do we need it, and what is database management system, it comes after that. So the basic things you need to know, why do I need a database? So it's one word again, it's a container where you can systematically manage your data, insert your data, and also manipulate your data. And most important thing, you can manage your data. This is the most important thing, right? Yes. So I hope you guys understood about what is database. Let's move further for the next part we have. Now I will give you the example of database, right? If you have any doubt, please do let me know. So suppose you have an online telephone directory, right? So we know there is a concept of online telephone directory. They do have lots of people's name, address, number, contact number, other details. Where they are going to store that? Obviously they are going to store that in the database, right? So this is how the database is going to use, right? Now if I give you one more example, we are quite used to with the ebook, right? So we don't want to go for a hard book and we want to go for ebook, right? We know Amazon do have their own, I forgot the name. They do have a app where you can, if you subscribe to that, you will have lots of books, right? Millions of book, millions of genre you have. According to that, you can like pick up your book and you can start learning. But how they actually manage a lots of book with different types of genre, right? Yes, they do also have their databases, right? In order to maintain their data, they use database, right? I hope you understood what is database, example of database, why do we need it. Now we are going to talk about what is database management system, right? Before jumping to the DBMS, I just want to understand from all of you guys, do you have any doubt till so far what we have talked about? Yes, Ashay, it's Kindle, right? I forgot the name basically. Right. Kindle edition, right? Amazon Kindle, right? Okay, so guys, any doubt till so far? Then we will talk about what is database management system, how they are going to help us to store our data, right? What are the variation we have in database management system? After this session, if you feel like this is something you really want to learn, then I can suggest you please do check out our full course on MySQL, and you will get to know everything about how can you actually manage a data, how can you design your database management system, and also what are the software we have and how can you make your first project on DBMS. Yes, this is something it's very interesting if you know this topic, right? Okay, so now we are going to talk about what is database management system, right? Okay, let's have a look at what is that. A DBMS is basically a software, right, where you can store, retrieve, define, and manage your data in database. Yes, DBMS is nothing but a software, right, where you can do all these kind of things. I will show you in the demo how can you make your first database in MySQL, right? We are going to use MySQL for today's session. Now we will jump into the most used database management system software we have. We have MySQL. So guys, I just want to know how many of you heard this softwares for DBMS. How many of you have like few ideas about different types of software we have? Give me a quick understanding on that. And I will also tell you what are the software we have. The first things comes into my mind when we talk about the database management system, that is MySQL, because I have worked a lot with MySQL. What about you guys? Hi Kashyap. Okay. Okay. So after that we have Oracle. We do have Oracle software where you can do the database management system. You can make your own database over there. And then we have PostgreSQL, we have SQLite, and then we have MariaDB. Now I will give you a one example of MySQL. I can see from Vaishish. Okay. And what about others, guys? I can see 63 people are currently watching this one. I want this answer from all of you guys. And if you like the video, do not forget to like it and also do subscribe. Great learning. MariaDB, Piyush. Okay. So, guys, what do you think about difference between NoSQL and SQL? Right? There is a concept of NoSQL and SQL. Why? What is the differentiate between them? What is NoSQL? What is SQL? A quick understanding from all of you if you know about this. If you don't know, obviously I'm gonna give you a quick difference between NoSQL and SQL. So basically NoSQL, like when you are started working with database management system, you need to know SQL, right? Because the basic, the base, when we start doing the programming, we start trying to understand our C programming, right? Then we go for different types of programmings like Python, Java, and all, right? So the same way, you have to know what is SQL. You have to know what is MySQL. How can you make your first database with MySQL, right? And from there is a concept called NoSQL. What is NoSQL? In SQL, we do have few limitations when it's come to data size, right? Now, as we know, our industry is growing, right? So in this case, what's happening? We do have lots of data. That's why these fields are coming out these days, right? Data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. I'm sure you should have heard about this particular domains coming up right now. But why they are coming up, right? Because they are growing in this situation, because they do need lots of data. And now in this particular situation, but rather the companies are currently generating lots of data, right? So how they are generating the lots of data? So you guys are the basic, you guys are basically generating this data. How? Suppose you are ordering your food, or you are just booking your cab. You are doing nothing. You are generating the data for these particular companies, right? Yes. So this is how you are generating the data, and they are using this data. When it comes to lots of data, a huge number of data, that time we do use cloud computing, we do use NoSQL, we do use lots of other platforms. The basic is SQL, right? So always you need to know SQL. So the basic difference between SQL and NoSQL is, when you have a lots of data, that time is processing with SQL will actually take time, and you have to give a particular, like when we are going to do a project, or you can say the demo, I can show you, you have to give a particular number, right? A particular you can say size of your data when you are trying to work with SQL. But when you don't know what will be your data size, how can you give that, right? That time you can go for NoSQL. So this is the basic difference between non-SQL and SQL, and there are lots of other SQLs are also there, right? Yes, I can see lots of responses from all of you guys. And again, if you do like the video, do not forget to like it and do subscribe. Great learning. Now we will jump into like types of database management system, right? What are the types of DBMS we have? We have hierarchical database, we have network database, and we also know relational database management system. We are going to talk about RDBMS today because it's most used database management system, you can say the most used concepts. We will talk about that. Then we have object oriented database. If you know any object oriented if you know about any object oriented programming, so the same features we have in DBMS as well. And yes, these are the types of database management system we have. So guys, do you have any doubt till so far? If you have any doubt, please do not forget to let me know. And I can see few of the question, I will give your answer, and then we will jump into our part, right? I can got a question from Piyush. What is the difference between SQL and MySQL? Okay, so SQL stands for Structured Query Language. We will talk about that anyway. But what is MySQL? MySQL is the software where you can implement these concepts by Microsoft. I hope you got the answer, Piyush. SQL for structured and NoSQL for unstructured data. Right, Ravi? Okay. How to create secure website. Why don't you check out our other courses, Santosh? There are lots of courses or lots of courses we do have in Great Learning Academy where you can see how can you create your website. What is the difference between SQL and MySQL? I just gave the answer, Piyush. Okay. Ritesh is asking about network database. Yes, we do have network database. I don't want to give an example right now because sorry, you will get confused on that. Maybe in the later in the session I can give you the example or the explanation of what is network database. Okay, Gatram is asking what is the purpose of Hadoop. Okay, I will give the answer. You have to keep tuned for that. Yes, King Slayer, right? Yes, the SQL is actually useful for data science. So when we talk about data science, a quick heads up on that, you have to work with lots of data. If you don't know how to manage those data, if you don't know how can you make your own database, yes, it will give you trouble. So why don't you learn this thing? It's basically very simple. Again, if you want to check out, you can check out the courses on our Great Learning Academy channel, and you will get the link in this particular live chat where you will actually start from the basics of SQL and you can learn lots of things and a project. You can use them in your CV as well in MySQL, right? I hope it will help you. Now let's move further and let's have a look at what is relational database management system. Right? Yes. Let me give you an example of what is relational database management system and why do we need it. Right? So, what is relational database system? What do you think from the name itself? Why it's called relational? Right? A quick a quick understanding from all of you. If the name itself saying there is a relation between in your database, right? So when you have lots of table, you have lots of sheet, you have lots of data. In that time, how can you make a relationship between them, right? If you don't make a relationship between them, how can you manipulate them, right? So that's why we need a database called relational database management system. Hey Jyoti, I think there is a problem in your internet. That's why you cannot see anything in the video. I think everything is fine. What about you, other guys? Okay. Now we will see what is the relation, right? The relationship between the data files is relational in RDBMS. So you can understand there is a whole concepts actually behind in the relation, right? I will show you how to make this relational database management system, how they are going to relate to each other, right? I will actually do that. But yes, for a learner who has no idea about it, so you can understand there is the main keyword over here, that is relation, right? They connect the data and the different files by using common data numbers or maybe by using the key concepts. Yes, in relation, just to make a relation, right? If you are talking about making a relation between two different friends, you need a common thing, right? As we all know, if you do not have anything common, how can you make a friend? Like how can you make a friend on that particular person, right? You need something common. For that you can talk, right? Yes, the same thing works over here as well. That should be a relation, right? The common data numbers or maybe something like that is nothing but known as the key concepts. So you need to have few key concepts in RDBMS to make this relation, right? Yes. So guys, any doubt till so far about RDBMS? Because we are going to talk about few more thing about RDBMS and we will jump into the key concepts. So I hope you understand why do we need this key concept, right? And if you like the video, do not forget to like it and do not forget to subscribe Great Learning for more such content like this. And also, if you want to know more about MySQL and DBMS, do not forget to check our courses on Great Learning channel. Okay, which SQL is best for an app? SQLite or MySQL? Again, basis, it's something depends on your data, which data you are going to work on and which one you want to use, right? Okay, right. So guys, I cannot see any doubt till so far. Do you have any doubt about RDBMS or about database, right? If you do not have any doubt, let's move further. So values are atomic in RDBMS. So these are the theoretical concepts for now you can understand. Then we will do all these things in the demo, right? So I just want, do not get bored. Yes, we have lots of practical thing, right? So let's see how can we actually implement it in MySQL, right? So for that you have to wait for 5 to 10 minutes more, and then we will jump into the implementation of that. So guys, okay. So here you have each row is different, columns are different, each column have a common name. Integrity constraints basically help to maintain the data consistency for multiple tables. Do not get confused. Again, I will explain all these things. So these are the properties of relational database management system. Now we will talk about the basic difference between now we will talk about the basic difference between DBMS versus file system. So, in past we used to have file system. Now we have DBMS. Why do we need it, right? Can't we do this all these things using file system? We do have Excel, we do have our notebook, we do have documentation, right? Why do we need to go for database management system? So, let me give you the main reason behind it. So the file system is basically a collection of data, and any management with the file system has to write the procedures, right? When it comes to DBMS is a collection of data, but user is not required to write the procedures to manage the database, right? So it's basically making our life easy. The way technology is growing, it's making our life easy, right? Now, file systems are not efficient for storing and retrieving of data, whereas it's called DBMS is efficient to use. There is a large varieties of techniques to store and retrieve the data, right? We will talk how can you do that. So for that again, these are the basic theory you have to know. Now we will talk about what is the full form of SQL. I just give the answer. So guys, I just want the answer from all of you. What is the full form of SQL? Right, let me give you your answers. How many people want to become app developer? Okay, you guys are okay. Any class for Luke ML, please reply. Hey Nandana, thanks for your suggestions. If you really want to know something or learn something from us, do let us know in the comment section after the session. Maybe we will come up with the tutorial on that. I think that will help you. Is SQL, MySQL same? Tell the difference between SQL, MS SQL, MySQL. Hey Niveta, I have already given the answer about what's the difference between SQL and MySQL. So again, for your reference, SQL is, the concepts, and MySQL is the what? It's basically a software by Microsoft. Do SQL do scientific or statistical calculation? What type of a calculation you want to do? Yes, we can do, but if we can do it on Python and if we can just import the data, why can't we do that? Make your life easy, man, right? Okay, yes, structure query language from Ritesh, Shruti, Joyati. Yes, learning SQL and SQL Server sometimes, if you know, if you like enough for database development job. Right. So guys, if you again like the video, do not forget to like it. I can see 82 people are currently watching and I got only 59 likes. Guys, if you like it, do not forget to like that, right? And also do subscribe. Great learning. Now, this is already you know the answer that what is the full form of SQL? Yes, it's a structured query language, the full form of SQL, right? Yes, Divya, I'm going to talk about RDBMS as well. Okay, now we will talk about what's the difference between RDBMS and DBMS. So we were talking about DBMS separately. I have talked about RDBMS. Now let me tell you what's sorry. Now let me tell you what's the difference between DBMS and RDBMS, right? Okay, I get few questions. I will give you an answer. For that, you have to keep tuned again. So quick difference between both of them. Then you will understand the difference between database management system, file system, and what? RDBMS, right? That we are going to talk about. So DBMS stores data as file. RDBMS store the data in a tabular format. Basically, it's going to make your data in a tabular format. Yes, I will show you. We have columns, we have rows when we are going to store our data, right? Now in DBMS, data is stored in two ways. One is hierarchical form or a navigational form. When it comes to RDBMS, the tables have a classifier known as primary key. We will talk about the keys as well. To understand RDBMS, you need to know what is this key concepts, because key are the, key, you can see the basic common thing you need to know about two different tables to connect them, to make a relationship between them. So primary key is basically to make a relationship between the table, or make that sure that you do not have any repetitive data. Sorry, you do not have any repetitive data in your database. So you have to know about RDBMS keys. That is the basic key, the primary key, right? Now, and the data values are stored in a tabular format. So always remember, in RDBMS, we store our data in a tabular format. Now, there is a concept of normalization. How can you normalize your data? So normalization is not needed in DBMS. So if you do not normalize your huge amount of your data, what do you think? Can you actually get a good data? I mean, again, what is good data and bad data? So the data is in a messy structure, right? Now you want to make your data in a proper structure, right? How can you do that? In order to do that, you need to normalize your data. And these features is available in Relational Database Management System, right? So any doubt, guys, till so far about what's the difference between RDBMS and DBMS? Now we will talk about what is MySQL, because as I said, within few more minutes we are going to do a okay, I got an answer about tabular format. कैसे होता है? Okay, I will give the answer what is tabular format. For that you have to stay on, and you have to see how actually we are going to do the practical on MySQL. Yes, Miki, this is the only one session for the beginner for SQL. And if you want to check out the whole idea about what is SQL, how can you know, make your first database, what is Relational Database Management System, everything if you want to know, please do check out our course in Great Learning, what is almost 9 hours plus course, and where you have to proper project end-to-end project, right? You can check that out, and please do let me know if you feel that is helpful for you to start your career or start your learning with MySQL or SQL concepts, right? Okay, right. So now we will talk about what is MySQL. I was getting the questions from all of you guys. What is MySQL? So MySQL is a database management system, and also it's a relational database management system based on SQL. So it's a software by Microsoft, and also it's a DBMS, that database management system, and also relational database management system. So basically, you can make your RDBMS in MySQL as well. There are few syntax you need to know about for MySQL. We will talk about that. Now I will show you how to install MySQL. So how many of you don't know how to install MySQL? Please do let me know in the live chat. We do have a short video on how to install MySQL. So still here I am going to show you how to do that. If you want to check in detail, then you can just go and check that out in our channel. Maybe our moderator is going to give that link as well, right? So let me show you how can you do. Go to your favorite browser, just write download. Okay, what I'm writing, download MySQL, right? Just write it over here. Now you will get this first link. Click on the first link, and from there you will get what? You will get few things from there. You can actually easily download it. I will give your answers, guys. For that, just give me some time. I will do that. Right? Can you see here? There is a option called MySQL Community GPL Downloads. Right? Go there. Right? After you go there, you will get a option for MySQL Workbench. Click on MySQL Workbench. Right? And here you have these things. Right? Go to download page, and from there you can actually use what OS, that operating system you use, Microsoft Windows, what is that like if you use Apple, whatever it is, right? You can go and check that out, and according to that, you can always download the bigger version, right? You don't want any dependency on the net. So basically for that, download this one. So if you click on download, it will automatically download it, right? So yeah, this is pretty much about how can you install MySQL. Let me give your answers, and then we will move towards the key concepts, and then we will do the RDBMS part, right? Yes, Ritesh, a mechanical engineer also can do that. Like it's all about engineering, right? So engineer can do anything, right? So why don't you can do that, right? You can just learn DBMS, you can learn SQL and start your career on IT. Okay, Harish is saying, I don't know. I mean, whoever said I don't know, I think you get to know about how can you install MySQL. Again, for the detailed version of that, you can check out our short video on how to install MySQL. Okay, what else should I learn with SQL? For what, for what particular domain you want to go for? If you want to go for database, so in with SQL, maybe you can learn SQL Server and maybe a little bit of Excel. It's enough for you to start your, initial stage with database. What is PLSQL? Is it different from SQL? Yes, PLSQL is little bit different from SQL. I will talk about that. I mean, this is the session is really short. Yes, PLSQL is little different from SQL. You can do some kind of a programming, you can say, or some kind of a condition you can give when we use PLSQL. But there are a lot of difference between PLSQL and SQL. Okay, Ashwini, I will give you the answer, right? Okay. And guys, if you do like the video, do not forget to like it and do not forget to subscribe. Great learning. Okay, Ashish is asking how much time it will take to learn entire course. So it is almost 9 hours course we have for MySQL. Maybe for you it will take maximum 2 weeks to learn it if you give 1 hour, right? It's really easy, guys. Trust me, it's really easy. Yes, you can do it for machine learning. You can use this particular DBMS concepts with machine learning as well, right? Yes, there are lots of jobs are there in DBMS, like in SQL. So let's talk about the key concepts, and I will give you an answer after that, right? So what is the key concepts in RDBMS? So as I said, key is nothing but to connecting two different data, and you can say two different tables. So key concepts has an important role in relational database management system. This techniques is used for identifying the unique rows from the table and also help to establish relationship between the tables. Let me tell you what actually the whole description is saying, right? Yes, Jyoti, is the 9 hours course from basics to advanced, right? All you need to know about MySQL, and after that you will do two particular project on that as well, right? Okay, so basically key concepts you can understand that is to like making different, like making a relation between two tables. Now when we talk about primary key, so primary key is again to make sure you do not have any repetitive data. I will show you how primary key is going to work, right? So primary key basically makes sure you don't have any repetitive data in your database, because that will actually, the same repetitive data, you don't need it, right? So you can store it once and you don't need for the multiple times. So that's why we use primary key, right? And also we have foreign key. There are lots of key you can see. Now we are going to talk about what are the types of key we have in RDBMS. We have primary key, super key, candidate key, alternate key, composite key, and foreign key. So in this particular session, we are going to talk about primary key and foreign key. If you want to know about other keys, you have to check out the course on our channel, that to get whole idea about these types of keys, right? Okay. Right. So what is primary key? Primary key is nothing but, again, if you have data, if you just try to understand, okay, I have data, I want to make sure I will not have any redundant data or the repetitive data, we use primary key. Now to make a to make a relationship between two tables, we use foreign key. To use foreign key, you need primary key. I will show you how can you make the relation. Do not panic for that. But yes, for now being, you can understand primary key to check there will be no redundant data in your database, and foreign key to make relationship between two different tables, right? So any doubt till so far, guys, about key concept in RDBMS and whatever we have talked about till so far? Then we will talk about the different types of command, and then we will jump into the particular practical part. So guys, a quick confirmation from all of you, and if you have any doubt, please do let me know. And in the meantime, if you like this video, do not forget to like it and do subscribe. Great learning, right? Okay, there is no such okay, fine. So let's start with what are DDL commands. So when we talk about different types of commands in MySQL to create your database, to make your first table, to make two relation between different tables or data, everything we do using commands, right? So structured query language is all about commands. I will show you how to write commands, but yes, this is all about commands, right? So first command we have, that is DDL command. What is DDL stands for? DDL is basically data definition language, right? It will define your language. Okay, we will talk about that. Now we will see helps to define the database schema. Obviously, what is DDL? Then deals with description of the database. It will basically, these types of commands we are using. Okay, this type of commands we are using to actually describe what data we have in our database, right? Now we will see also have the power to deal with creating and modifying the structure of data object. Yes, so these are nothing but lots of stamps to actually explain DDL, but when I will do it, you will understand how to do these DDL commands, right? So first command we have under DDL, that is create command. So to start your database, you have to write create database and then database name. So the first command you need to know about MySQL, that is create, right? This command is used to create a database. It will also have some objects like table, index, function, view, store, procedures and triggers. You don't need to know all these things, but you can know, right? Just to create your database, you have to write create. I will show you after that itself how to create your first database. I can understand there are lots of theory, but guys can't help, right? Yeah. So let's start with create. What do you think? Let's start with new MySQL query. So guys, what do you think? Should I start with the demo or should I continue with the theory? A quick quick poll from all of you. Should I continue with the theory or should I show you how to write or how to create your first database in MySQL? And again, I said I want this session to be more interesting. Guys, I cannot start from beginning. If you really want to check out that, please do check out after the live. We are going to complete this live on 1. We have started from 12, right? So guys, what do you think? What you want, all of you? Should I start doing the practical little bit and then we will jump into the theory, or should I again complete the theory first and then the demo? I can see Ronak is saying demo, Shruti is saying demo. Okay, I can see demo. Start from with theory as well. No, theory I'm anyway seeing, right? Why do we use create and then demo, right? So let me make it little big for that you guys can understand. And guys, do let me know, do you have any problem to see this in mobile as well, right? You can see the first command we have written create. Then you need to write database. So in MySQL, you have to, this is the, okay, one thing I forget to say, this is the whole, you can say this is the whole look of MySQL. Here you need to write the command and here you will get the output, right? Okay, anyway, I'm going to do the demo, no doubt, okay? Right, so here what we are going to write, we are going to write create database and you have to give your database name. So what will be, you want to give your database name? Quick suggestion from all of you. As it's the first database I am making, what should I give the name of the database? A quick, quick suggestion from all of you. Then I will show you what are the syntax we have. There is no, there is, if you write in the small case, if you write in the uppercase, there is no such consequences in this particular MySQL, right? So you can write create in uppercase, you can write database in smaller case, right? It's not case sensitive basically. And you have to put the semicolon after you write any command, right? So I will show you how to, already I'm showing you how to write the command, and then do not forget to put the semicolon, right? So guys, where I'm not getting any suggestion till so far. A quick suggestion from all of you. Students data. Okay, student, great learn. Okay, cool, fine. So I will give the database name as student data, right? Okay, so we have written create database and this database name. Guys, can you see my command what we have written? Okay, write shyly create database, then database name, that is nothing but student underscore data. Now after you write the command, this is your whole command, then you have to write semicolon. Can you see this, right? Then just select the whole command and there is a sign like this, right? Just click over there. Okay, after you do that, can you see there is the output? I cannot make it big, this is really small, I know, but I cannot make it big. So you can see this is actually showing create database student, 1 rows affected, right? So basically, congrats, you have created your first database, right? That which is name is student underscore data. Now if you said, hey, I have created my database, by I do have lots of databases, because as I worked with MySQL, I have created different databases. To make sure I'm going to use this particular database called student underscore database, you have to write one more command, which command is nothing but you are going to say, hey, I have created a database, then please use me. So use what? Your database name, student underscore data, right? Now again, just run it or just execute it. So you can see here it's showing 0 rows affected, but your command get executed, right? And you can see, yes, now whatever you are going to do in this particular database, which will come under student underscore data. Okay, 1 row inserted. Yes, it's showing 1 rows affected, not inserted, right? So 1 row is affected because you have created a database. So guys, any doubt till so far what we have talked about, the create command and how can you use your particular database what you have created. And again guys, if you do like it, do not forget to like it and do subscribe Great Learning for more such content like this, right? Okay, now we will see drop command. What is drop? In the name itself saying, if you want to drop something, hey, I have created my student underscore data and I don't want to have it right now, so you can drop it easily. So basically, drop is mainly used to delete objects from the database. So I want to delete something from my yes, Niveta, we will talk about that. How can you read data from your database, right? So if you want to delete someone from something from, not someone, sorry, if you want to delete something from your database, you can use drop, right? Yes. Okay, now we will have one more command called alter. So alter is used to alter the structure of database. I will show you how to do that, right? Before that, we need to make a database, right? So then truncate we have. So truncate command is used to remove all the records from the table, which includes all memory allocated for the records are removed. So basically 2 things you have to remember. One is drop. You can drop your, if you want to delete some object from your database, there is a command called truncate. So truncate command again is used to remove all the records. If you have any record, right, so you can remove all the records from the table, will include all the memory allocated for the records are removed, right? So yeah, this is pretty much about this particular DDL command, and 2 more we have. That's not that important to know, but again, if you know something, you should know everything. So comment is used to add comment to your data directory, and rename is used to rename the existing object. You can understand for that. Now is, as everyone is asking, that how can you start making your first tabular format database, right? How can we do that? So guys, to create a table, what command should you need to use, right? What do you think? Do I need to use the create command again or something different? a quick suggestion or understanding from all of you what we have learned so far, right? I know this is something theoretical, but yes, I'm trying to make it more practical. So guys, a quick confirmation or just to understanding from all of you, that if I want to, create a table using a command, what command should I use? Okay, for your let me show you, and also I will show you how to use the drop one, right? Okay, I have written over here, why should I write again? Okay, drop one I will show you, but the question I have asked you guys, what do you think? If I want to create a table, do I need to use create command or I need to use something else? A quick different, Ritesh is saying different, Rajesh is saying create. Okay, create table. Okay, yes, Ritesh, you are not right, we are going to use create command itself, right? So what we have talked about, drop, right? So let me show you the quick example of drop, and then I will show you how can you drop your database, right? So before using drop database, let me show you one thing that's really interesting. So what are the type of, what are the database you have in your MySQL? To check that, you have to write show then databases. So you can totally understand, right? Use the database name if you want to use it. If you want to see what are the, if you want to see what are the databases you have, so in that case, you have to use a command called show databases. Now, if you just execute it, right? Okay. Can you see how many databases I have? Yes, you can see this is the list, but so sorry, I cannot make it big. So yeah, this is the output. There are lots of databases I have. If I go down little bit, let me check that our database is also there or not. It was student data. Can you see I have make it little bold? Yes, we do have student data, what the new database we have created. When we are checking out the list, you can see, yes, this is the database we have. Now, if you said, I don't want this student data, already I have a database where we can use it, right? How to do that? Okay, I cannot, I don't know. Okay, what the use of student data means. So this is basically this, we were working on database to creating a database, the database name. So if you want to know the whole thing, you can check out after the live, right? Okay. And guys, if you like it, do not forget to like and do not forget to subscribe. Great learning, right? So you can see it's actually showing what are the database you have in your MySQL. Now, if you write drop database and database name is student data, you don't want this particular data, right? So in that case, what do you need to do? Just write drop database, then student data, your database name. So can you see you have dropped your database? It's already showing 0 rows affected, but it's already dropped. It's will not show your show databases list. Let me check again. Let me check. Can you see there is no student database you have? Student underscore data you have? Yes. So this is how you can start working with your creating database to use the database to drop the database, right? Yes. So this is the basic, basic commands on MySQL. So any doubt till so far? And then I will show you how can you create a table, how can you insert the data in your table, what are the commands we use for that, right? So a quick confirmation from all of you. Any doubt what we have learned so far? I think this is not a boring class. I don't think you guys feel it boring. So if you do like it, do not forget to like and do not forget to subscribe. Great learning, right? Okay. So this is something use student data, show database we have done with. Now, what we need to do? We just want to understand how can you create a table, right? Affected QI. Okay, it's a good question Piyush asked. So, it's affected means your output is basically, your output or you can say whatever the query you have written, that is executed properly. There is no such error, right? So that's why 0 rows affected. And affected we do use basically for For your query, how many rows in your database are affected? For that also, we use, like they use this affected part, right? Any doubt, guys, till so far? Yes, Sridhar, why don't you get a job? So do not focus on job. Focus on the concept you have learned. That's all matters, guys. So if you have a good understanding, a good hand holding on that particular subject, trust me, no one can stop you from getting a job from from that particular domain. So do not focus on job. Focus on your skills. I am sure that you will land a good job on that particular domain, right? So again, if you want to if you want to learn more about MySQL, do not forget to check MySQL full course we have in our channel. I hope that will help you. And we do have project that matters for a fresher. If you have done lots of project, they will consider you for someone who is perfect for their position, right? So we do have conclude 2 projects in that particular video, right? Do not forget to check that out. Okay, so here we are going to see how can you create a table, right? We will talk about few things on that. So write create table. So your command is create, and what you want to create table, right? Yes. So basically, always whenever you are learning something, try to understand what are the command you are giving. That's the same thing you have to. There is nothing to remind, right? You want to create database, write create database. You want to create table, write create table. And then you have to create table name. Then this is here my student table, right? Then you have student ID, that is student ID, the column you have, right? The attributes, the one name you will learn or you will heard of, that is attributes, right? Okay. Okay, right. So here, if you want to check that attributes, the student ID is your attribute, student name it's your attributes, it's nothing but your columns in the table, right? So you have table called student table where you have column student ID, student name and course name, right? So if you just, use MySQL database, I think we already do this. Show tables. Let me just execute that. Okay, we do have that. Okay, MySQL database. Maybe make it this. Okay, then I am just again creating a new database, nothing like that. We have dropped our student data, so I cannot use that, right? So what we can do, now we are going to create a table of student table where we have columns for student ID, student name and course name, right? Let me execute that. Can you see? Your table is created and again it's showing 0 rows affected. So your table is done. Now what you need to do, you have to do one thing. You want to see that table is already there in your particular database or not. How to do that? Again, you have to use show command, right? So you have to write show tables. Okay, let me execute this particular one. Can you see? Your table called student table is created, and it's when you have done you have written that show tables, it's showing the table in your particular database, that is student table. Now if you want to say, hey, I want to insert data to my table, now I have a lot of data, now I have to insert them, right? So for inserting the data, what you have to write? Insert into, and then you have to write your table name. What is your table name? That is student table, right? So you have written insert into student table, and then you have written what are the columns you have. You have columns called student ID, student name, course name and email, right? Now you have to write values. Then you have written student ID 1, student name Prakash, student course name is C1002, and then the mail address for Prakash is prakash@gmail.com, right? So it depends on your data you have, right? So let me just execute this particular part. Okay, there are a lot of data I have. Let me just do that. Okay, right. Here I get unknown column called email. Okay, don't I have email here? Okay, I don't write email. So guys, can you see I get an error that I do not mention email. So if you do not have column called email, and then also you can say, hey, please, I have already written that email and please insert to my database. They will not do that, right? Let me give the varchar and 50, right? Now let me just re-execute that. Okay, let me just do that. Or you can drop the table as well. If you want to drop the table, you can do that as well, right? Okay, let me just, yes, it's done. Okay, now if I just do show tables, it will show the table. Now if I just, okay, insert, it's big, it's really, okay. Now let me do this insert wala part. Okay. Okay. Now can you see it's showing 1 rows affected, 1 rows affected, 1 rows affected, right? Okay, there is called date. Yes, you can use date column as well. Okay, right. So can you see this is showing that your data is inserted. Now, as someone was asking, how can you retrieve your data from your database? You have to write select star from. Now, why we are going to use star? Star is, okay, star is basically it will fetch all the data from your database. Or if you just write the column name, it will fetch the only that column name data. I will show you on that. For star, you can understand it will fetch all the data from your database. Now, if you are going to write select star, so whenever you need to fetch data from your database, what you need to do? You have to select, right? Do not forget to do that. You have to select student, like select star from student table, right? Let me just execute that. Can you see we got the output? Yes, we see that we have inserted 3 data in our first database, in our first table as well. So we have student ID, student name, course name, email, and the student name is Prakash, Ram, and Shama, right? Okay, right. So this is how you can do that. And one other way to retrieve your data, and then we will wrap up today's session because we are going out of time. So we are going to write select, then you can write student ID. So basically column wise if you want to retrieve your data, then from student table. Can you see the way of writing the commands is same? Yes. So then if you just execute it, what you will get? The student ID 1, 2, 3, not the whole data, right? Yes. So this is how you can actually start working on MySQL, right? So how can you start with MySQL? How can you create your first database? How can you create your table? How can you check what are the databases you have in MySQL? And how can you retrieve your data from the table, right? Yes. So this is how we can start working with MySQL. If you really feel this is something really interesting to work with, to store your data, manipulate your data, please do not forget to check out our course on Great Learning Academy for full course on MySQL, right? So guys, let me answer all of your questions. Shagar is asking them what to do if you do not want the data from the table, you want the table structure. I don't understand your question, Sagar. You don't want what? Okay. Okay, right. Okay, guys, I cannot see any other doubts. Do you have any doubts? So whatever we have done so far? Do you want any other doubts? Do you have? If you do not have any doubts, thank you so much for attending the session. If you feel like this session is going to help you to understand the basics of SQL, basics of database management system, please do let us know in the comment section, and please do like the video and do not forget to subscribe. Great Learning. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next session. Bye bye.